Let's bring in Oliver Sloup of Blue Line Futures in Chicago. We're coming up on the end of the month, end of the quarter. We have some major reports coming out on Thursday. This would appear to be one of those, they call them risk-off days, maybe. But what is it that's driving this market? And do you see this or more of this the rest of this week here?
Yeah, well, I think we saw some premium into the weekend. We know that with what's been occurring over the last month plus now between Russia and Ukraine has kept a lot of people a little bit nervous about being overly aggressive on the short side over the weekend because there's no way to exit those short trades if something were to escalate. Now that we made it through the weekend, you're seeing some profit taking, probably some position squaring ahead of this week's USDA report, as you had mentioned. But when you look at corn, yeah, sure, we're down on the day and pretty decently in that May contract, but we're still in a very relatively narrow range. Today marks the 18th consecutive session that we've traded on both sides of 750. So the market is certainly waiting for new news to give us new direction. And hopefully, end of the month, end of the quarter, and the USDA report can give us that new direction. There's a lot of energy built up. So depending on what that report says, we'll likely get a breakout or a breakdown. On the resistance side of things, 765 to 767 has been a brick wall for the corn market. On the support side, 728 to 731 is very significant. So we're looking for a breakout or a breakdown. A lot of that hinging on the USDA report. What makes us a little bit nervous is if we get a bearish USDA report, the funds have a hefty net long position. They've had a big net long position for the past year now. They're net long about 384,000 contracts, and they bought another 11,000 last week. So if we get a bearish USDA report, the risk of long liquidation on a breakdown below 728 is very real, despite a lot of the bullish fundamentals here in the near term and on the longer term. I think the bullish fundamentals probably bode a little bit better for those deferred contracts and looking out at that new crop Ds22 and even Ds23.
Anytime you have a market go flat, like we're seeing on this May corn chart here, and it consolidates just flatline basically for several weeks on end, it seems like the longer it goes that way, the more pent-up energy it has when it does break out one way or the other, that it has more potential to make a bigger move. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.